Jackass has got the ball, but Gary Jones is claiming it, and it's Gary Jones who signals to the crowd that he has scored. Lamerton and Emyr Lewis with the jump. Rupert Moon, shadowed by Kerry Jonathan. Lamerton, nice play by the hooker, and this is Bouvier. Bouvier with two men outside. And that was Pawson with a fingertip. It was all going just a little bit laterally, wasn't it? Two men outside Bouvier, Nigel Davis and Ieuan Evans. Someone needed to come in on the scissors, and you see how Pawson got his hand to it. Shortened line out again. Davis with a tap. Moon, Stevens, and Ricky Evans. East Llanelli forwards this afternoon really have become such... Oh, that's lovely play. Rupert Moon saw the gap. There was a huge gap there by Rupert Moon. And a little bit of showmanship as well. It was the forwards who had set it up, and Moon, you see how he just puts his head down, sees there's a yawning gap there, and there's no need to use Ieuan Evans even to look for him, because the scrum half scores himself. So one of the few attacking platforms that Pontypool have had near the Llanelli goal line, and that's a loose pass, but Phillips it is. Phillips will make advantage here because, well, it was a little untidy. The back row move was on, and Jackass, you see, that's a loose pass to Jonathan. Jonathan does well here, though, scoops it up to David Phillips, and Phillips runs in unopposed. And this crowd is eagerly awaiting the next match here in a week's time. That'll be the cup match, of course. And Llanelli are handing out a few lessons, certainly in their weight advantage up front. And a great performance it's been by the forwards and by this man. That is Scott Quinnell. Quinnell has gone over for try number 5 for Llanelli. Jackass giving a little bit of support for Jonathan, and the long raking kick by Phillips. Hugh Williams. And that's not going to find touch David Phillips. And David Phillips has actually played Quinnell onside. And Gary Jones with the pickup. Now Jones has got Lynn Jones inside, he's got Bouvier outside, and that's Bob Lewis with the tackle, but Gary Jones has gone over himself. That was a 50-yard run by the second row. He found himself, I don't know what that means, but he scored. And watch from here, that's the halfway line. Now look at the support, it's Lynn Jones inside, Bouvier, despite a bit of shirt tugging, he's on his left. And that's Bob Lewis coming across to make the tackle. But Gary Jones has decided it's going to be his try.
Whistles, it's the 7th time of asking for Pontypool to try and defeat Llanelli in a cup match. And what a difficult prospect that is, bearing in mind what happened here last weekend. Already a man who had such a good day here last week, Scott Quinnell, into the action. Already just a little bit of annoyance on the part of Ricky Evans. Doesn't like Lyndon Mustock getting hold of him too early. Sensibly, Gareth Simmons keeping both front rows apart. The crouch is asked for, then engaged. And already Ricky Evans in some discomfort.
Both front rows wanting to get at each other. Ricky Evans there, prop in. Keep an eye on his left leg. There it goes. He could have hurt his knee there. Gone down, twisted very awkwardly.
Pontypool will want to exert some scrum pressure. Three minutes gone, and Llanelli under early pressure. Front rows certainly are testing each other. As this time, the Llanelli front row penalised for collapsing the scrum, and in a position where obviously Pontypool will go for goal. Prolific though a point scorer Paddy is, he has been known to miss even from this sort of position. Tends to blow hot and cold, but this for Pontypool would be such a boost. 3 points to the home team, and certainly the early advantage. Llanelli keeping to the full line-out formula, with Lynn Jones with 7 on his back at the back. Scott Quinnell and Emma Lewis between them. Try and claim it, but Pontypool make it easy for Llanelli by coming round in an offside position, and an early opportunity for Llanelli to strike back. Colin Stevens would fancy his chances from this position most of the time. Important for his side that he draws them level with Pontypool. Indeed, that's excellently struck. And so the kickers are in form at this early stage of the game, and we're back to even Stevens. That's where the battle is going on at the moment between Evans and Musto on this side of the scrum. Despite that surge by Llanelli, couldn't quite budge that Pontypool scrum. Indeed, Pontypool sufficiently strong to get the ball moving. Lewis, Linton, that's interesting. As White chases Proctor, we'll have to watch this as Moon does the scrum halves covering work so well.
Good play by the Pontypool backs because they looped off the ball. There's the man passing, there's the man looping. He saw that they were up, and it's a good kick as the full-back's out of position. He's in defence, but Rupert Moon, like any good scrum half, covering across there. 3 Scarlets, Emmy Lewis as well, minded the ball.
Phil Davis, the man that takes it on. Lynn Jones, given support by Delaney. Well, that wasn't a good switch from Moon. Nigel Meek. Should he have held on to that and waited for support, it means that Hugh Williams will get back there and Minor, when in fact Pontypool needed to keep that possession.
Very loose play by Llanelli. Moon under pressure. Meek did very well. Nobody up in supporting his shoulder. Maybe could have gone and looked for somebody. It's a good kick, but just that yard too far, and Hugh Williams is able to get back and touch it down. Quite a contest on this side between Musto and Ricky Evans, and that could go a long way to deciding who wins the scrums.
It's well anchored by Evans this time, as Stevens will put it into midfield. As some blocking goes on off the ball. Still Paddy, cut off by Emma Lewis on the one side, Lynn Jones on the other. Well, good back row play by the 2 Llanelli flankers. Now it could be there for Llanelli to exploit. Colin Stevens takes on his man. Can he get it away to Boubier? A lovely shimmy from the centre. The support running is now so important, but intercepted and a chance to counter-attack. Paddy. Well, the pass might have released someone there, as again David Fox sets up a run. Tremendous thrusting by the hooker. Now it's Proctor. Here Williams was free outside, but no great space. Llanelli in the pole position here, but they can't claim it, and the loose ball driven over the touchline. Phil Davis claims it. Stevens off Moon. Boubier should set up one of his big men, but he finds all the space in the world. It's there for Llanelli to reclaim and to drive on. Can it now be released? It won't come from there, as Pontypool do so well when it comes to winning ground possession, and exceptional work by the forwards, and equally so by Kerry Jonathan, the scrum half.
Winning the ball, and just look for Neil Boubier. He's looking to feed his inside support, but he catches Pontypool out. He lacks a little experience. Lovely off his right foot. He should be looking to feed Lynn Jones, and the centre got caught.
Chris Hewish, for the first time in the game, we've seen him rampaging. Jackass, Nigel Meek, the hooker. There are hands in there on the ground, body's the wrong side. It's on its way to Moon, and hurriedly out of his grasp as Scott Quinnell gets the ball going forward. Lovely pass from Rick Evans to Emma Lewis. Llanelli at last get things going together. Copsey is the next man in line. At last there's a header's beam. There are men standing off either side as well. It's a matter of delivering the ball, but it won't come.
At last, a bit of good forward play, and that was started off yet again by Scott Quinnell, probably the best forward on the field so far this afternoon.
That's taken by Lawrence Delaney, but Jonathan recovered so quickly. He'll be thanked by both his hooker and loose head prop forward for that, because it would have seen Pontypool in such disarray.
And the touch has got his flag up the other side. He has seen something. And that's the story of the game. So scrappy. Good harassment by Jonathan. Look, it's on the floor. Body's good to the floor. No good rucking. Nobody staying on his feet. Oswald did well. Where's the support? Again, driven back. And I think there's a push by Chris Ewish.
The game so badly needs some points to spark it into life. Stevens, again, not threatening the posts. Certainly not an afternoon for goal kickers. Both he and Parry have been rather astray with their aim. So often has Adwell Parry done this in the second half. It should be perfect, but that's the mix-up as Boubier chips it on. Proctor can take advantage here and will get there. What a mistake by Pontypool. The try is awarded. Having tried in desperation to get out of their own territory, Pontypool pay the price and Proctor gets the reward.
I think Adwell Parry should have been looking to put his forwards a high ball. He takes the risk. He's a very adventurous player, but it goes sadly awry for Pontypool. Kicked ahead. Wayne Proctor, very, very quick. A young man. Bounces up for him. Let's watch very carefully. He's tackled by two men. Does he get his way over? Difficult to see. He was turned on his back. Took a long time, but he certainly seems to have grounded the ball. Mr. Simmons gets there, awards the try.
Will that have inspired Colin Stevens to find his kicking form? It'd be so typical that from here he would be successful. Indeed, he is successful. And what a blow that is for Pontypool. They were holding the fort pretty well, quite comfortably, and suddenly they've yielded 6 points and suddenly find themselves having a fight on their hands.
He'd loved adventure, Parry, but it had gone astray for Pontypool. Proctor going for the line, very strong. He's turned on his back there. Was there a double movement? Mr. Simmons far nearer than us, and he's awarded the try. He's the key man.
Parry, so keen to get his team back into action. His mistake that set up as Quinnell goes, has no one close to him as yet. Can he still go? Just out of space. But what a run from the number 8. Tremendous thrusting.
For me, the outstanding forward this afternoon. Keep an eye on his touchline. Very close to an occasion. He shrugs a man off away from the scrum half, Jonathan. Very close to the line. He's looking for support. Dying to pass it inside. Nobody there for Clancy, and he's bundling the touch. What a great run.
Excellent position, this. Good delivery as well from Copsey. His captain supports him. Moon gets it into midfield. Colin Stevens had an eye on the goalpost. Didn't knock it on. That's interesting, though. Nigel Davis is there putting pressure on Parry. It's an awkward bounce and Hatchenetti not quite. What a blow that would have been. That would have been the killer blow. Hatchenetti scored there.
That was a good recovery by Colin Stevens. He mucked it up in the first place. It was a good Gary Owen, but Nigel Davis got under the ball and knocked it on.
The Llanelli pack will want to exert all its scrum pressure here. Pontypool holding, but they retain the advantage. Delaney, Fox and Ricky Evans will want to destabilise that Pontypool front row.
And I think maybe Mr. Simmons surely should bring him away from that post there. It's quite dangerous when they're driving back.
It's Lyndon Captain Musto is penalised. There's been so much delaying of the scrum. Musto refusing to put his head down there. And what a cruel blow. It really had gone on. And to yield the penalty here is a huge disappointment. 3 definite points to come from Stevens' boot. They now find themselves 9 points adrift. Delaying the put-in warranted a penalty not so long ago. This time it's a collapsed scrum, but no penalty. The penalty against the Pontypool scrum. This is where things are falling apart for the home club. It's their strength so often, or has been in the past, but today it's been their Achilles heel. From here, Colin Stevens can hoist his personal tally into double figures and obviously put Llanelli into the driving seat. Again, high and true. The outside half is far more comfortable. Certainly his team is far more comfortable, and they now lead by 12 points. Phil Davis, Llanelli captain, denied by Gareth Taylor. It's there for Moon. Great pass in the scrum half. Nigel Davis finds acres of space. Now is it? What a tackle! What a tackle! Superbly done by Hansen. It really was. There was crunching of tackles on Nigel Davis. No one came close enough to set him up.
Brilliant break by Nigel Davis. Nobody came to tackle him really. Looking for support of Copsey, but Hansen came in, lifted the big centre up, and the pass was knocked on.
Two-man line out. Llanelli, Moon again off Phil Davis. Boubier finds space. Really, Llanelli now are finding huge amount of space. Lynn Jones unopposed. It's as simple as that. Once they got their noses in front and relaxed, it was obvious that Llanelli would romp home, and it's all coming together for them. And Lynn Jones delighted with his reward for good support.
Good change of tactics by Llanelli, and they play with more confidence now, and it's a missed long pass in midfield, and Boubier, as he did in the first half, dummied Emil Lewis, but this time he does feed Lynn Jones on his shoulder. Good play by the young centre, and he sprints away the flank forward. Good supporting play made by Neil Boubier, the try.
Colin Stevens, there will be no charge as Hansen goes past him. A further 2 points to Llanelli. It's now Pontypool 3, Llanelli 21. Llanelli back row off very quickly, but the scrum, the front rows go to ground. Keep an eye on the speed at which Lynn Jones detaches on the far side. Quinnell off as well. Evan Lewis this side. Phillips brings Paddy into space. As Nigel Davis corrects that, it's a matter of relaxing, of not tightening as the hamstrings tie up. But Nigel Davis does it all so easily. Gifted to him on a plate. It was a matter of keeping his concentration. And Nigel Davis gets Llanelli's try.
And Pontypool have to take risks. They're running the ball. The backs haven't looked all that sharp this afternoon, haven't really run it, and they like looping round players. There, David Phillips misses a man. Watch the man looping round, number 12 at the centre, but Paddy just throws it. He's not looking forward to it. And a lovely take by Nigel Davis. He's 2 yards clear of his defence. Now he has to relax, keep that rhythm going. Colin Stevens is already saying there's a try. Get there. Davis isn't saying there's a try. He's absolutely shattered, puffing and panting, but it's a wonderful effort by the centre.
And from this position, Stephen Shirley will add 2 extra points. Yes, indeed. And it's now turning into a rout as Llanelli get up to 27 points to Pontypool's 3.
and Linton had Luke Brown, but the ball hadn't gone to him, so Nigel Davis has got it, and he's sprinting, and he's puffing, he's looking, he's got Wayne Proctor, good play by the wing on one side, Colin Stevens on his other side, but he doesn't need them the centre. The final blow, and there's the line, bang, down it goes.
Straight in, Nigel Meek, and David Fox will have got in and taken that, but the scrum is the decision of the referee. His tempers for the first time become frayed. And Ken Braxton, the touch judge on this side, will come in as well.
And watch Copsey's come over, number 5 on the wrong side. Oh, there's where Lawrence Delaney did stamp on somebody's head. That's very dangerous play by Lawrence Delaney.
Thrustful running right again at the heart of Llanelli's defence. Not that well executed from there on. David Phillips tries some dancing work. It needs quick hands here from Emyr Lewis to get the ball away from Moon. Now Llanelli can attack as Hugh Williams can set up Ieuan Evans. Rupert Moon, Emyr Lewis, no one inside the flanker, still going. Emyr Lewis, remarkable running, just 5 metres short. Can Llanelli now reclaim it? Hansen has denied them, but surely that should have been a try, and it should have been the reward for Emyr Lewis's tremendous running.
And Emyr Lewis was involved in that movement. Some good slick passing, drawing of the man. Look at Hugh Williams going in. Ieuan Evans then slipped a bit, but back inside the Rupert Moon. Excellent support, and Emyr Lewis would started that movement off, driving past, going past tacklers, looking for support. Good strength, good speed by the flanker. Where's the support coming to him? Good cover defence by Hewish. And that's what's been happening. The scrums collapsing all afternoon. We've seen it all season in Welsh rugby, and really the referees haven't got a grip to it, and I think it's ruining the game.
And the touch judge is in again. Ken Braxton will want to advise his referee.
And the scrums have been going down all afternoon. A lot of problems there. Look at this side there. A lot going on there. May have been a punch thrown. Very difficult to see.
Was it off the ground as Jackass, isolated, finds no way through as Gareth Simmons whistles, and that's the end of this quarter-final round match in the Schweppes Cup competition, with Llanelli, the holders, yet again victorious. They won here in a league game last Saturday. They repeat that here in a cup match, with a final score here at Pontypool Park of the whole.
Involving everyone as soon as possible was Llanelli's way of shrugging off a half-hour delay in kick-off. But referee Les Beard also got involved to say that Hugh Williams' pass was forward and Ieuan Evans' run-in vain. Llanelli's forwards seem to have come of age this season, none more so than outstanding flanker Emyr Lewis, here grateful for the control of the pack in general, and number 8 Julian Williams in particular. Any end-of-season blues that Cardiff may be suffering were temporarily hidden, with Mike Hall relishing the chance to brush by any half-hearted tackling before linking up with flanker Neil Baxter. His well-floated pass and Wintle's well-thought release created the space outside for Simon Hill, but his opposite number, Boubier, doing just enough to prevent the ball from being grounded. Such an ability to capitalise on good groundwork proved costly. A 40-metre tap penalty, not the most potentially threatening situation, but given the good hands, speed off the mark and timing of Stevens' pass, Nigel Davis cruelly exposing the dreadful alignment of the Cardiff defence. Indeed, such defensive frailties can be exploited from a great distance. Moon having taken out the first line of defence, Boubier having the speed to sweep past the second, and the confidence to merely use winger Proctor as a foil to fob off the valiant Dreyer. Though far from perfect, Llanelli showed a good variety of play. Stevens is up and under, not exactly imaginative, but Nigel Davis's follow-up a la Salah or Carling, securing that important second phase which can then be used in space. Stevens' perfectly timed pass to Evans showing that any reports of his demise as a top-class finisher were well and truly exaggerated. But with the game won, Llanelli showed the kind of lapse they can ill afford at St Helens next week, if their title hopes are to stay alive. Perfect ball from Phil Davis, but Moons looped past to nowhere, putting Bubia in all kinds of trouble in front of his own posts. And the Cardiff substitutes combining to put over Ian Jeffries for a try whose only consolation was in avoiding a blank scoreline for the visitors. Llanelli 22, Cardiff 6.
Granted that April signals the beginning of the seven-a-side season.
Gain 12 metres. With so few gaps available and without the likes of a Turner to create one, Newport's best chance of success lay in short interpassing and close support. Waters' perfectly timed pass almost sending in Harris, but for a vital if slightly high tackle from the Gent captain Absey.